Hello?
Good evening. What's going
Is this thing
on?
on?
Are we here? Are we live?
Are we
Oh, my
actually
little.
doing this?
Here we go. That's
What'd
better.
you do?
My thing, this little fun circle thing, was away from the mic. So, but it's not. All right, let me get started real quick because I never get to do this in the beginning.
What? You never get to do what?
Comic books.
Hurry before Joanne comes on.
I
Because
know,
if
right?
Joanne's on, it's over.
Yeah, it's all done.
And Sean, ooh.
Wow. All right, so the first one I want to give off. Look at this. So this is Gunslinger Spawn. I'm a big fan of Spawn. Superman and Spawn are my top two. That's it.
Never heard of.
I want to see here. This is a Western version of Spawn. But anyway, I just want to highlight. Look at his mouth and eyes. Look at the mouth and eyes. So he's wearing this mask over his face, right? But can you tell like the detail in the mouth and then the squinty eyes?
No.
Like he's got this like mean mug look on his
chin. Yeah, I see that. I really want to address the gun. Did you ever watch Citizens on Patrol?
It doesn't sound familiar.
It was like what was his name? Anyway, I can't. Motor Mouth Jones was in it. And it's about police officers. Anyway, there's a huge gun like that. And this old lady decides she wants to shoot it. And that's what it reminds me of.
No, Police Academy.
Police Academy, Citizens on Patrol.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. I was like, wait a minute. It sounds so familiar. And then you names. And I was like, wait a minute. So, yeah, I remember that.
When Miss Feldman shoots it, that's what that reminds me of. I love that movie.
That's a good memory. And then I got 4 comics I'm going to show off. And then look at this one. So this one's called The Joker, the man who stopped laughing. This was issue 7, but look at the art on this.
That one looks like real, hyper realistic.
Yeah. And he's a little creepy in there, right? Like can you see like him? Like he is. Nightmare. It's like the city's on fire in the background and he's in the police car laughing about it. That one's crazy. Okay.
That reminds me of that meme. That's how I aspire to be, this level of unbothered. Shit's on fire in the back. You're just having a grand old time.
Life is grand and there's not giving any, So, and then, so here's number 3. Hey, CPJ. This one is Edge of Spider-Verse. I can't even pretend to know what it's about, but the cover alone, look at this. So in one of the worlds, there's a spider, there's a T-Rex. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct, and there's a T-Rex that became Spider-Man. And in this issue, there's a T-Rex that becomes Venom also.
Okay, now I see it.
It just looks out of this world dumb, but I'm a big fan of like big monster movies. So the idea that they turned Spider-Rex, Spider-Man, T-Rex, it's just like, yes, I'm all for that. So yeah.
Is that a rare one?
No, not that one, but I do have a rare one I'll show off when I get it. And that one, it looks really cool. So, and then finally, this one is really like, this one tugs the heartstrings a little bit. Okay.
Oh God.
Let me just tell you, it's not deep, but let me just tell you, in the comics, Spider-Man, Superman, and Lois had a son, right?
And yes, in the 2006. Which one is it? 2006?
Well, no, in the comics, but you're talking about the movies. Yes, 2005, 6. Yeah, 2006. There was yes, but in the comics, they knowingly had a baby. He was a little boy. He ends up traveling the stars and comes back a little bit more grown up. And him and Robin, Batman's son, become a tag team. And then he goes away for a little bit, and he comes grown up. Well, then Superman leaves his son as the new Superman in the comics.
I'm going to send a viewer a link real quick.
Okay. And so anyway, so now his son, named Jonathan Kent, after his dad, because in the comics his dad's it's really cute. But anyway, so he leaves his son to be the protector of Earth, or be the Superman, the new Superman of Earth. That's why Superman looks so young in the comics now.
Spoiler alert, I had no idea.
Yes. But look at this one. So it's Superman's statue when he died in the comics years ago, but then his son as Superman looking up at him.
Oh,
that was a really cool. This is a 30th anniversary cover to the death of Batman, actually. Superman. It's called the death of Superman, 30th anniversary. So.
Did you watch Lego Batman? Hi, Anita. This is who I had to send the link to.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Anita. Yeah, I don't remember it all that well, but I liked it. I thought it was hilarious. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was so funny. We like still quote it to this day.
Crazy through it. So there was a I guess like a poll or a social whatever, however you want to call it, but on Twitter people were like, "Hey, can we petition for a new Batman? Like, can we ditch the whole gritty anger Batman and everything and go for a lighthearted, funny?" And it has a picture of Lego Batman and some of the other lighthearted Batman in the past, and like, can we go for one that's maybe a little bit lighter this time?
Joanne, you tuned just in time.
Yeah.
Jamie was just wrapping up his comic stuff.
Yes. Welcome, Joanne. We can get started now since you're here. Man, it has been a crazy week.
It has. So
Right?
I was out all last week, and so I'm playing catch up. And so it has just been.
So let's go back and forth a little bit. Okay. I dealt with a on Friday, and you guys know I have PTSD when it comes to a certain topic in my basement. And Friday, I am doing my job here. I'm working, and then my daughter comes in because she's leaving for the weekend with her tia. And she's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm about to leave. You said to come see you," and blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, "Dad, did you spill your drink here?" And I was like, "What'd you say?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's a little wet." And I was like, "A little wet?" And then she stepped towards that door, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, it's really bad." And I was like, "Oh no." And the other night, I swore, like, this is how bad my PTSD is, right? Is because the other night I was sleeping down here. I fell asleep on here, and I'm just like this. But then, like, for whatever reason, Sandy, I'm like this. I go, and I'm like, what's going on? But there was no noise that woke me up. There was just this thing. Yes. And I was like, what is that? And I kept in my brain, it was like an audible hallucination. I could hear a noise, and it's the noise that I always dread. It's the sound. No. they don't make the noise, but y'all remember that. But I could hear, like, in my brain, I heard water dripping, because that's what goes off in my mind when I had that. And I was no. I felt like I heard it, like I not heard it with my ears, like I knew. So then I get up, and it's in the middle of the night. It's like 2-3 in the morning or something. And I'm walking all over the house trying not to wake anybody up, but I'm literally opening doors and turning lights on at 3 in the morning. And I'm
nobody mind me.
Yeah. I was like, is it in here? No. And then I go to everyone's bathrooms. I'm like, is it in here? And I'm like kind of stepping on the floor everywhere. And I'm
Did you say it took you like 30 minutes to get through your home?
Yes. I was like, oh, I was like, it's nowhere to be found. I cannot find it. And so then I went and laid down, but I sat down first, and I just sat for like, I don't know, a few minutes. And I was just like, I know I felt something. And I was like, okay. And then I went to sleep, nothing of it. So then when my daughter said it's real wet back there, I opened that door. It was like 2 or 3 inches of water.
Do you have plumbing down there?
What do you mean plumbing? Like,
do you have plumbing in your basement?
Yeah. So it's a finished basement. It's like this wouldn't be here if it was like unfinished. I wouldn't be down here, but like, so there's carpet, there's everything.
So what leaked? Because like our basement,
nothing leaked. It was the air conditioner just naturally has that moisture, right? Whatever. But the drain that was under it, got stocked up.
Oof. So it just was overfilling.
Yeah. And when I had to get the plumber out here, I was like, what happened? I was like, why? How did that happen, or whatever? And he was like, honestly, it's just years worth of buildup down there, and because we had a really humid, hot day on Thursday of last week, he was like, the air conditioner just picking up the air and stuff outside. And I was just like, that's just so weird. Why would it never happen before? And he just said it just accumulated, and he goes, it's a small drip, so there's really no rushing water to kind of flush it out. And so he was just like, just twice a year, just fill up a bucket of water and empty it down there so it'll loosen up any debris. And I was like, that's so weird.
Maintenance.
And so I got the Dr. Pineapples had bought a vacuum, wet vacuum, not a wet
Oh,
vac,
yeah.
not a wet dry vac, but
Oh.
like a shampooer. She bought a shampooer, and I started sucking up the water with the shampooer, and I was like, wow, this thing looks pretty amazing actually. And then I put the humidifier fan down here, and where is the fan? Anyway,
Joanne would like to know if you have pot.
yes, it's right here.
Sandy, most bowling alleys have bathrooms. Duh. Oh yeah, my bad. My bad, bro.
You know, it hasn't helped out that people who are in my program, that cybersecurity program I'm doing, they're like, you have anyway, I'm not going to say anything else.
Oh, they ask you if you have a bowling alley.
Among other things, yeah.
Do you have an elevator in a bowling alley?
Yeah, they've said that. I'm going to stop this for a second. Yeah, they do. They ask all those things.
That's
I'm like,
funny.
I'm like, great. I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, babe, I was like, Sandy and Joe have this, and now everyone in my program is like, wait, you got what? And I'm like, nothing.
Oh, and they're just like waiting for the invite.
I get, yeah. So
like,
a couple of them,
invite us
3 of
over?
them were all like, "Are you gonna fly us down to Texas?" And I was like, "Lubbock, Texas?" And I was just like, "No, why would I do that?" And they're like, "Sandy said you have a bowling alley. We saw your vaulted ceilings," and I'm like, "What?"
Joanne said, "Not that kind, but okay. So why are you on pot?"
Wait a minute. What kind was she asking about? Now I'm curious.
Do you have a pot?
A pot? Oh, I thought she asked if I had pot.
I just purposely read the question correct.
I thought she said if I had pot.
What are you doing back there, Jamie?
Oh, I'll tell you this. Kid, it's embarrassing.
Oh, you picking your nose?
No. Oh, no. My shirt was inside out.
Oh,
So
no.
swap it out because I was like,
promise you no one noticed.
I could feel that. You know how when the tag, or no,
She
not
said
the
a
tag.
pot to piss in.
She was trying for that one, and I'm all over here like, yeah, it's right here.
He can piss in that too.
I don't know if I can. You know what? Let me just get a little pick me up real quick because that's all.
That's all I needed. That's all you needed.
I'm gonna take a little vacation here soon, a weekend vacation. Me and some
Where are you
THC
going?
are gonna do some hanging out for a little bit.
That's nice.
Anyway, so that was one of my things from this weekend, Sandy. Did you have something last week or this past weekend?
Let's see. Yes, I think so. Look, Joanne said you pothead.
Aren't we all really just potheads at the end of the day? Like, seriously.
Crackheads, potheads.
There you go. Yep. Hotheads.
We're all something. Hotheads.
Ramen heads. Cheese heads.
Wisconsin.
Okay.
So
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to tell you. So we last minute planned a vacation. We weren't going to go anywhere, but I'd had a work week from hello.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, Eric, we got to go.
Yeah.
I feel like if I don't, like, it's going to be a nuthead. Like, it's just going to be crazy. I said, let's just go something quick and go. Okay. So we found a really great deal to Banff. So to fly all of us to Banff, Canada. So it's right out. So we were technically going to fly into Calgary and then just drive 100 and something miles to Banff. And Google it. It's a beautiful resort town, lakes. I mean, just in the wilderness. I was going for photography purposes mainly, but that's my disconnect from the world right now.
Okay.
So anyway, y'all, we got a really great last minute deal, flight and hotel.
Like a really great package, right? Like one, you're just like,
flight
oh my
and
gosh,
hotel
this is
for
totally
all
worth
4 of us,
taking it.
like $2,400.
Okay. So 4 on a weekend trip or a week-long trip?
No, it was just going to be like 5 days and 4 nights. So it's going to be pretty quick.
In Canada, I've heard nothing but good stuff about Canada in terms of its people and just the beauty of it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
So we were going, this has been on my, I have a little list that I keep of things that I want to do. And that one's on it.
Did you have your camera all packed up too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we had the whole
thing. Good shots, weren't you?
Woke up at 2:30.
Okay.
Get to the airport. Morning? Yes.
Okay.
Get to the airport. Airport's like flight delay. No big deal. We're leaving at 7:30.
It happens.
We are not strangers to flight delays. Believe you me.
Right. You
So
guys
anyway,
travel a lot, so you've experienced it.
we've experienced it. We've, last year when we were in Greece, we missed a whole leg of our trip, but ended up in a different country, got to experience that. We're used to it. We're go with the flow type of people.
Okay. Okay. I'm following you.
Anyway, so flight didn't get delayed to 9:30.
Oh,
Our
so from 7:30, now 9:30.
uh,
Okay. Okay.
and at this
Okay.
point, we are already missing our connecting flight in Dallas. Like
Oh
we should have left at
no.
7:30. And so leaving the way we were going to leave, we would have
Uh-huh.
been in Calgary at noon. Had our
Okay.
flight left at 5 o'clock in the morning, like it was supposed to. Anyway, 14
Excuse
delays
me.
later, and no end in sight.
14?
Yes, I can't remember what I told y'all. How many? I can't remember. It was an
I mean, I've
astronomical
been
number. I remember
14.
sending it to you guys. Anyway, it was insane. All
Jeez.
those delays later, I mean, I get it. Shit happens. Trust
Sure.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I just said, Eric, we're all off. Cade's already requested days off. We just need to go somewhere. So we look at my bucket list and we're like, okay, the Grand Tetons is on there. Let's just drive. So we come back to the house, we regroup, and then we head out.
Okay. You're
We make
still
it.
in Lubbock.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I
we
didn't.
never left Lubbock. We were
Oh,
we were at
wow.
the airport because when we woke up, it said it was a flight delay. So we were at the airport 6, 7, I can't remember. So from
Okay.
7 to 3, a whole day.
Excuse me.
And we leave here at 4 and we drive all the way to Colorado and we stay for the night there. Wake up, go to church, have breakfast, and then we just mosey on to Wyoming. We didn't get there till like 10 o'clock at night because it is hella far.
Mm-hmm.
And we made the most of it there. We couldn't do a whole lot just because we had to get back. So the hiking and stuff was just kind of, we were not prepared to hike just because
Right. Right. You were going to go into the
we
colds of
yeah,
Canada or
we
beautiful.
were we were gonna hike over there, as much hiking as we could do without carrying our shoes, our hiking shoes and all that stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Because what we had planned to do is we paid for 3 different types of excursions, and they were all like, we'll drive you in, you don't have to do any hiking. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
type of stuff. So we were not prepared to hike in at the Grand Tetons. So we drove around, we got off and we did, a bunch of stuff. The little town itself is amazing. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of good food and stuff. Anyway, we did as much as we could there, and then we're like, okay, we have to start back just because Kate has to go to work. The rest of us could take the day off. I mean, we'd already taken our days off and stuff. Anyway, made it back, and that's it. Just been trying to catch up with work since then. Uneventful.
That is, I'm so sorry.
I know it sucks.
I mean, you way to make something happen out of a bad situation, right? But that just sounds great. Oh, so you know what was interesting actually about that, Sandy? So when you told me that, I was looking around somewhere and I noticed that actually there were a ton of planes that day that were delayed.
So here's the deal. This plane had been grounded from the day before, and all of those people
Made it to
had
the
been, kept pushing back, pushing back, pushing back. And then at one point, we got a message from American and it said, your flight is now leaving at 6:45, which at that point, our second connecting flight was already gone. So we'd already missed an entire day in Canada. And that day was going to be our in-town day. Kate kind of wanted to explore Calgary before we went out to Banff. To answer Joanne's question, so Joanne, after several phone calls, we did end up getting a refund on everything. The hotel, their policy, they did not want to refund us the first day, but we were just like, hey, this is beyond our control. Had we have made it to Calgary and something would have been up on our end, then totally see it. 2 of the excursions that we had already paid for, we did not get refunded. I mean, we lost money doing this, which is frustrating because, I mean, I'm just giving money away, And so that just was upsetting in itself. Because, and again, totally out of our control.
Yeah. And but I wonder. So, like, I think I also read that I don't remember what's the governing body, FAA maybe, but someone is coming under fire because of the flights being handled recently. And I forgot to mention it to you last week because I was like, weird. And like, anyway, I'm not going to make more speculation. I just know that there was something going on, and there were lots of flights that day that had gotten canceled / delayed.
That
And
is
it was a
wild.
weird thing. If I had to put my money on it, I would say honestly that there was a hack somewhere, and that's why a lot of the planes were grounded, which is
So they
probably
kept
why
telling
it came
us.
up on the radar.
So they kept telling us, oh, well, we have we need a part. The hydraulic is leaking, and so we need a part for that. And but the mechanics and the parts are here. That's what they told us when we were checking in.
Sure.
So then, mind you, had they said this flight's not going to leave, y'all can, if you leave now, you can catch your second flight in Dallas. But then they told us, well, if you don't check into this flight, which we did check into this flight, and you don't fly into the airport, then you lose your second leg.
Freaking.
So you know why the number 14 stuck out to me? Because it was 14 hours and 11 minutes late by the time it took off.
Really?
So they didn't end up taking off until 8:28, even though they had told us 6:45 and guaranteed it by 6:45. Joanne, in answer to your question, American did nothing to compensate us.
American's horrible.
They all are. They all are.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
There's you can't say one is better than the other at this point. You used to could say maybe Southwest was better, but they all are horrible. Frontier is probably rated number one, the worst out of all of them. But anyway, so
can we move on?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Two things. Remind me to come back to this later, because I just feel like you're flexing your tats. Like you got more tats than the last time I saw you. So I want to come back to that. But before,
still have the
I feel like that way. I feel like your right arm is just growing feathers and tats on your forearm now, and I'm like, when did those all?
I showed this one last time.
Okay, well then at least
when we were interviewing that guy, he wanted to see it.
Yeah. Okay, so it was new then, though, right?
No,
it wasn't.
I've had it for a few months.
Huh. But I don't see you as often. Only when we're on the show is when I get to see you.
And right now I'm at a different angle, and I'm in a different spot. So maybe.
But what I was gonna say. Okay, so there's a funny glitch that happened today. Okay, I want to share about it. I did something. Okay. Then I went to go take a nap. And then I woke up hours later. And
how long was your nap? Hours later.
It wasn't really hours. I realized what today is, and I need to watch what I say for
this is all for entertainment purposes.
Exactly. Yes, this is absolutely entertainment. I'm embellishing much of the build up. I'm a storyteller. That's what we do. We build. We embellish.
Do here.
Yes. So anyway, my phone rings and it's Dr. Pineapples, and she was like, "Congratulations!" And I was like, "Thank you for what though?" And she was like, "I guess you got this new job. You didn't want to call and tell me." And I was like, "I did try to call you several times today. You didn't answer. I didn't get a new job." And she was like, "But it's all over your feed, specifically LinkedIn." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But the weird thing was, I was kind of like, I didn't get a new job. Okay, that's the walk away. No. She didn't tell me about LinkedIn. She just said, "Congrats." I said, "I had nothing. I don't know what you're talking about." I thought she was just being silly with me. So we go on to talking, and I get up and I'm looking at my phone and put her on speakerphone, and I'm looking and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, babe." I was like, "I got like 1,000 messages on here, people congratulating me on a new job." I was like, "I didn't even get a new job. What are they talking about?" And I go onto my feed and I see I had updated the name of a job today of a company that I worked for. And anytime you would update your work history in LinkedIn, it automatically creates a post that says, "Congratulations to the person. They started a new job today at this place." And I was like,
no.
"Oh my gosh."
Let me go on there so I can be the millionth person to congratulate.
I had DMs of people saying, "You did it! Congratulate, man! I knew you were going to do it." And I'm like, "Ouch, that kind of hurts because I didn't get anything." No,
Oh
and I wasn't
no.
looking. I mean, I'm open, but I haven't looked yet. So I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" So then, what do? I went ahead and went to the posts that everyone's congratulating me on, and I delete it because I was like, I don't need people thinking I'm
Oh
something. But
no.
yeah, so everyone
Sorry.
thought I had a brand new job today, including my wife, and I, except for me, I'm the only one who didn't realize that I had a brand new job,
You
and
were like, I was napping in La La
I was
Land.
napping in La La Land. That's exactly what it was. I was
Where's
watching.
Mr. Big Head Joe?
I don't know that answer actually.
Congrats on your mistake job. Congrats on waking up from your nap.
That's really that. Yeah, that's the more takeaway that the nap. It was a good man.
We don't know where Joe's at. He said he was busy tonight, but that's about it. And funny story, speaking of busy, I never remember things. If you know me, if it's not written down, and even if it is written down, I don't remember things. So a girlfriend of mine reached
Fair
out and
game, yeah.
said, she said, hey, do you want to go watch the Barbie movie? And I was like, sure. I just like to watch based on true. If it's something Marvel,
If Barbie was true crime.
if Barbie was true crime, I would have been like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's. Okay,
So
so you were really
anyway,
denying yourself on this one, huh?
yeah. And so anyway, just to be a friend, I was like, sure, I'll go. She's
Oh,
like, well,
you're
what
so
day?
nice,
And
Sandy.
I'm like, Wednesday. I'd have nothing going on Wednesday.
Jeez.
And I was just like,
Absolutely nothing,
do
right? Absolutely
nothing,
nothing.
can't think of one thing. And then all of a sudden I was like, Wednesday's when we have the show. And she'd already bought the tickets. And I was like, oh my
Oh,
gosh.
San Antonio. She
But
got
then
tickets, Sandy.
Then what happened? She said, hey, my babysitter, her mom's in the hospital. They had an incident at the hospital, so she can't watch my kids. I'm going to have to reschedule. I'm like, oh, okay. Works out perfect.
Shucks, really? You can't?
Yes.
Oh.
So, anyway, that's why I'm here tonight.
We're all blessed with your presence here, okay?
And you know what though? I think the movie would have probably been over. I would have been like screeching in, but it was like a 6:12 showing. I don't think it's that long.
A 6:12 showing?
I
It
mean
would have
6
minimum been 2 hours. Minimum 2 hours.
6:15.
With the trailer and with trailers and everything.
Right?
Minimum 2 hours.
It would have been fine, right? I'd have been here.
You might have. You might
I'd have
have.
been like screeching, peeling into the driveway.
It's possible. You'd have been like diving in.
I was gonna have a review and everything if we'd have gone to the show.
Oh, well, that's okay though.
Ken dies.
Always, all of them, all the Kens die. The only one that's
all of
left is
them.
Alan
Mm-hmm.
because there's only
Yes,
one Alan.
only one.
Anyway, that movie is making some splashes and stuff, right? Because okay, we're gonna go on to my soapbox a little bit because
Okay.
when it comes to movies, you know who I don't like, right?
What?
WB. WBD, technically, Warner Brothers
Why?
Discovery.
What did they do?
Freaking Zaslav, right?
Oh,
It's not about what they did, it's about what
it's
they don't do. They
who?
continually flop on all most of their DC movies. And I love comic books. And so the fact that
Mhm.
just continually have been flopping over and over, like the only good movies DC related past the Dark Knight trilogy has been Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, Aquaman.
I mean, they hit it out of the park with Aquaman, though, for real.
It was good and it was fun. It was fun, despite Miss Heard being
Well,
on there,
until
right?
we learned about her, and then you're like,
Well, she was. I didn't think she was good in the movie.
but I didn't even know who she was. That's the thing.
Yeah. She was
Unknown.
forgettable.
She was totally forgettable.
Yeah.
Unknown.
So I think that's great, but I have been a staunch hater on Zaslav. Okay, I can't stand him. And never mind with the Flash that he brought back Ezra, who freaking needs to be done
Needs to
in
be in
Hollywood.
jail.
He needs to be in jail. Yes, he is a child predator. He's a child groomer. He has been in bar fights in Hawaii. He took a child across state lines. And, even after all that stuff happened to him, Zaslav, who's the CEO of WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, still brought him back to be like, yo, let's do some reshoots on The Flash to make it better.
Okay. I digress.
Anyhow, what am I talking about again?
I don't know, but Anita says,
Barbie.
Jamie, you're really important that Sandy forgot about you and the show. The show that's only been going on for 3 years. I can't help it.
And then Joe last
disconnect.
week, I'm gonna go ahead and harp on him because last week he was like, oh, I forgot. I can't go on tonight. He was driving in from San Antonio. I was like, you could have gotten on the phone and did the show.
You could have been live. Totally could have. Aquaman, Amber Heard. I wonder how Camille is. I love her.
Oh, that is a good question. That is a good question.
I saw her. They were her and was it Ben
Shapiro?
No, my mess. The guy that she was the other lawyer. What was his name?
Yeah, I think his name is Shapiro.
No, it's not.
Looking. Johnny.
Anyway, he speaks really good Spanish, and they're defending somebody, some Latino, somebody or other. I don't know who they are, but I saw him on a TikTok, and I'm like, hey.
Oh, Ben Chu.
Yeah, Ben Chu. Yes. How could we forget that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so his Spanish is really good, and so anyway, they're both defending the famous person.
Fast. Let me tell you the name of his attorneys real quick, and this will probably help you out with. Or let me just tell you: Camille Vasquez, Ben Chu, Stephanie Canan, Rebecca McDowell Lacaros, Yarlin Mena, Jessica Myers, and Samuel Moniz. Who knew?
Who knew that Ben Chu? And that's probably why he knows Spanish.
Yeah. Anyhow, I want to see. We need to make sure, not tonight, but we'll do later. We need to do a "Where Are They Now" episode.
Oh, yes.
Even though we passed the year, but we can still do it and see
like
where the lawyers are at.
What?
Yeah, and just what's not, because I don't know if you heard, but like a week or two ago, Johnny had like some sort of health scare or something.
Oh, I did hear that. I did hear, and first thing that popped into my head.
Amber.
Was it overdose?
I don't even know what happened. I'd like to find out though. Anyway,
I saw where Camille and her boyfriend went with Johnny somewhere, all like besties. Aw. I don't even know what this is all about. Very rude. How are you just gonna come on the show and just be rude?
Rude.
Judy, I wonder how. Yes, we do need a follow up on Judy. Judy, the court reporter.
The court reporter. Johnny loved her.
So, I have a thing that I wanted us to read on the air today, and we could discuss this.
Hold on. We'll get there. I wasn't done. WBD.
What are you talking about?
The reason I was even talking about that was because you went to go see Barbie.
I didn't go see Barbie.
I mean, you were going to. Anyway, the Barbie was the pivot. I got off track because I don't like Zaz. Anyway, I'm not going to go back over there, but coming back to the main lane. Barbie is poised to break $1 billion.
That's insane.
It's absolutely insane. $1 billion.
But you know what upsets me the most is that we're worried about Barbie when there's Sound of Freedom coming out, and that's more important. That should be breaking.
But if it doesn't have that.
Yeah, because it's true story and nobody wants to hear it. That's the sad part.
Yeah. And it matters. The significance is way more impacting than anything.
I mean, we watched it, and I tell you what, I had to ask the Lord for forgiveness.
I can't do that,
was angry.
Sandy. I can't watch it. I can't watch that's one of those movies that I can support from afar. I'm more involved in the true story. Not to say that that's like embellished or anything like that. All I'm saying is, you know what I mean? Like it'll hurt. Like I carry that kind of crap all the time. I get messy over a stupid commercial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a movie about it, like I can't. Like I can appreciate from afar. I can't be exposed to that because it's draining. It's draining.
No, I mean it's very emotional, and if it doesn't make you feel some type of way, then you need to check yourself.
That's a good. That's a better point. I think. Yeah,
because
like I believe in that. Not believe. How do I say it? What am I trying to say? Something like.
No, I mean I understand what you're trying to say. I mean, even some first responders that I speak with, they were like, I don't know if I could handle it just because
Yeah.
they have trauma from coming on to that.
Ugh.
So, I mean, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Let me catch up on these comments
Oh,
real
go
quick.
for it. Yeah. Yeah.
CPJ says, I mean, how close are y'all as friends for you to be invited to Barbie? I'll say what everyone is thinking. I Here, listen. I think
Good
that
point.
maybe I'm the only girl she knows.
Oh.
And even then,
And you said yes. That was
I'm
so
not a
sweet of
girl,
you.
but not yet a woman.
He looks like a great woman to me.
Chon said, no, thank you. They say Barbie is connected with China. What does that mean? Like from Mattel? Is that where
You mean like
Mattel
they are
comes
made
from?
there?
I'm sure. Sure they are.
Clarify that up for us, Lenita.
Preach, girl.
What
I'm
did she
still
say?
so
I want to
nervous
see
to
what?
watch it, but I need to. I want to see Sounds of Freedom, that movie.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I
and
feel like everybody needs to watch it. And if you can't afford your ticket, there are people that are paying it forward and paying so that you can go watch it.
oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I've heard that guy's story through the years. It's been an impactful story. I've seen the documentary that was on YouTube,
I'd never
wherever it was.
heard of their story, which
Oh,
makes
okay.
me wonder, like, how much information is censored? Because why haven't we heard of what this guy is doing?
Well, so I hear what you're saying. I'm not going to be critical of it because I want to believe that the work that he's doing is pivotal. It's so pivotal that information that would get shared and leaked out would hurt his
I
effort.
mean, no, he has a whole foundation, like we're like asking for donations. That's my part of it. Like, why am I not exposed to this? Why have I not known to
Oh,
donate to
I see what
his
you mean.
cause?
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
now
okay,
that's
okay.
going to be near and dear to me. Just as Tim Tebow's foundation, because he also helps uh, children that are escaping from that.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a foundation for that. Like now, I want to be involved and I want to fundraise and do stuff like that because
Mm-hmm.
that is important. And so, and it makes you wonder, like all these, what was I saying?
That's not funny, but dear God, you were doing so like passionate, and I was like, silent,
Story of my life.
silent.
Let's go to the
You were
comments.
talking about Tim Tebow and his organization. Why you have never seen any of this? Is it being censored from you knowing to donate to this stuff? I think that was the vein you were in. You were like, how come I haven't seen anything to do this? You said it was close to your heart. It's something that you want to give to, but how come you've never heard of any of these organizations?
Thank you for summing it up. I don't know. Our crazy senator says Barbie is connected somehow to China. Yeah, he made it political. Oh god. What
Oh, the
isn't made
movie? Oh, the
political?
movie itself,
What
not the
isn't made
toys.
political these
Okay.
days? Every single thing. You wake up and everything's political. People are mad because of this and because
Well,
of
here's the
that.
thing: is I would need to know more. Like when we say it's political, like
Well,
for what? Like what would be the benefit or loss of it being politicized? I don't know. I don't know.
who
I know that
knows?
my daughter went to go watch it because the neighbors bought her an extra ticket
Cade went and
specifically.
watched it Sunday and he said it was fine.
Yeah,
Like he
and
didn't see anything.
yeah, my oldest said she was like, Dad, it was she was like, actually, it was pretty good. She was, I didn't think it was going to be that good. She was like,
I
it
had some
actually had
friends that were like,
messages.
no kids under 9. They didn't think that that was appropriate.
Well, then I mean, she thought it was a good. It had even a good message. She said.
Oh.
So she was like, it really touched. It had some good touching moments actually overall. So I was like, okay.
I don't know. I mean, that's just not my cup of tea. So,
Same here, Sandy. Same
'cause,
here.
that'd have been like 20 years down the road. I'll be watching it like with Shawshank Redemption.
It just doesn't gain anything. Now it's weird, right? Because on the opposite spectrum, so there was another movie that came out that weekend, right? And it was Oppenheimer. Do you know about Oppenheimer?
I only know because that was originally the movie that Cade was going to go see with Oppenheimer. But I guess this is the guy that invented the nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I
So
kind of listened a
he's
little
like
bit.
the head of the program
Mhm.
that created not the Philadelphia Project. Jeez, I can't remember. Anyway, the program, yeah,
Oh,
the
never mind. That's a
program
different
that
story.
that created the atomic bomb, right? The bomb that we eventually used to drop on
Hiroshima?
and Nagasaki. Yes,
Okay.
Japan. But anyway, so that's what this movie is, and it was Christopher Nolan's movie, and I don't remember. It didn't. I don't know if it made as much either, but they were talking. It's gotten a lot of good reviews too. And people are like, they're associating both movies together because they came out at the same time.
Manhattan Project.
Thank you, Paul. Hey,
Thank you,
Paul.
Paul. How's it
Yes.
going, Paul?
Long time. You just came in right at the great time, man, to just drop that knowledge for us. Because I was like, it's not Philadelphia, but I know it's a city. I know it's something like that. And so I had visions of Michael Pare again because he was in the Philadelphia Project, and we had to save that for a spooky episode again because that's a fun story to go through.
Okay.
Anyhow, but yeah. So that movie came out too, and it's doing great, and it's making a lot of money too. And so Flash, not so much. And apparently, all three movies are connected to WBD. And,
Oh gosh.
I can't.
CPJ said, "Did you get my Tombstone reference?" I did, because you know why? I watched Tombstone.
One of the greatest movies of all
over
time.
spring break.
That movie needs to go into like the vault, right? To me, it needs to be there when we have another nuclear
Thank you
holocaust
so
or whatever.
much.
It needs
Paul
to
said,
be.
"Y'all are good."
You're good, Paul. So anyway,
even better.
we can move on from movies. But what is there a movie that you've been to watch recently? Throw it in the comments and let us know what's the last movie you saw in the theater.
Well, I didn't see, while we wait for people's comments, I didn't see this in the movies, but I did watch it on while we were driving. And I say we were
Really, it
driving,
was
but
you?
I didn't drive. Most people consider themselves passenger princesses. I'm more of a problem passenger. So anyway,
I can
to
see
keep
that. I
myself
can
out of
totally see that.
trouble, I decided I was going to watch a movie. And I watched, oh my gosh, what's it called? Because of course, it just came out. Actually, it did come out this year, but it was based on true. Only reason I watched it, and it was
The Mothman Prophecies.
The Pope's Exorcist. And if you're not familiar with the
That
Pope's
just
Exorcist,
seems like that title just makes it feel like you should not watch it. That
so
title
I regretted
makes,
it.
Okay, I'm kind of glad because crazy that title just be it's like
I
saying
regretted
there's a
it
Ouija
because you
board,
know
don't touch it.
why?
That's
It's
what it's like.
based on true.
They all say, okay, was
For
it based
Father
on or
Amort,
inspired by?
it probably inspired by real stuff. But Father Amort was the Pope's chief exorcist in the Vatican.
Okay.
And so that's what this story is based on. And it's based on one exorcism that he did. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Out of the many that he did from his career, and starting from the 80s, I believe, until 2016 or 2000 something, when he retired.
Okay. 2011.
Mm-hmm. And if you like that sort of stuff, which I'm just kind of like, ooh, I'm just glad I watched it during the day. And I had 13 hours to forget about it by the time we got back to the hotel.
See, me and my house, we can't do stuff like that because
I would never watch it in my house.
Yeah,
No,
see,
no.
see, I couldn't do it in our house because I'd be like, and my daughters are like, "It's scary movies, Dad. Let's go watch it." I'm like,
no.
no.
See, because it hits different.
It
Like,
does.
When it's inspired by true events.
So there's a difference. So one, if it's based on true story versus inspired by true events. Inspired by true events means that the original story, they just took and ran with whatever they wanted to. Like,
so it's based on true. It didn't say inspired.
True means we are trying to do the original story, and we may embellish some parts, but
that's what it was. It was based on true.
Okay, yeah. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's inspired by true events. It's not based on It's not based on.
And even then, that is like loosely inspired,
right?
Because you and I did the whole.
Yeah.
It is nothing like the movie.
No. And there's been so many movies that have been quote unquote inspired.
Yeah, because everybody thought he was from Texas.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Anyway, we won't say his name because we're not going to give out his. We're not going to promote him. All right,
No.
You can go look up and see why the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is inspired by true events and see for yourself.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is
weird. But anyway, so that's all I've got. I haven't watched anything. How about you?
Watched. Well, I stay in the realm of anime and comic book stuff and whatnot,
Hmm.
so that's really where I'm at. Oh, there is a new Resident Evil animated movie that came out this weekend, and I haven't watched it yet, and I really want to see that. It's weird, right? Like I don't
Is
like.
it just like a one time, or is it going to be like a
Yeah,
series?
yeah, yeah. It's a one time. So it's funny. Netflix released a Resident Evil animated series, but it was actually a movie. They just broke it up into 6 episodes. And so I was like, oh, that was weird. I saw the movie first before I realized Netflix put out the show. It's just
Mm.
weird. But anyway, so I like that stuff. And it's funny because it's animated. Oh, there is this new anime that I'm watching. I want to tell you about it because it's fun, but it's weird. They're about to show a movie on it in Netflix. And it's called Zom 100, Diary of the Dead. And basically this guy, he works for this company, and in Japan they have these things that are called, I don't remember the exact name, but I think they're called exploitative companies. And basically they get people to come work for them, and then they just work them to death. In the anime they talk about it, but it's a
That's
real
based on true
thing.
story.
So anyway, the guy hates his job and he just cannot wait to quit, but he realizes if he quits, because in Japan there's a lot of stigma on leaving work for your coworkers and stuff like that. And so he's like, if I do that, then I force them, and it's already miserable enough. I can't throw my misery onto others.
Mm.
And so anyway, he goes to sleep, wakes up, gets ready to go to work, and realizes that there is a zombie apocalypse that happened overnight. And
And he still
while
has to go to work.
no, he doesn't. In fact, he's so thrilled that the zombie apocalypse
Oh
happened
my God.
because he's like, I don't have to go back to work. And so he comes up with this idea. He's like, I want to live life to the fullest. And so he makes a list of 100 things that he wants to accomplish before he turns into a zombie, because he knows it's eventually gonna happen. And so you can go ahead and talk. I can talk over here if you need to.
Kay just walked in from practice, so I just kind of like,
Oh.
like, don't make noise.
No. And so anyway, but it's a fun, silly, sad anime about zombies, and it's just weird. But there's going to be a Netflix movie coming out this month, and it's called, like, I think it's either called Zombie 100, Diary of the Dead. Anyway, the premise of the movie is the guy makes a list, and he's like, these are the 100 things that I want to do before I turn into a zombie or
So
die.
he's eventually going to turn into a zombie.
He's relegated to the
already?
fact that he knows that
Oh.
he just can't survive in a world now populated by zombies. He is
Gotcha.
now he is less than a 1% part of the population that is still alive. So he's like, well, before that happens, I want to do these things. And so the anime is him following those things, but it's cool, it's fun, I'm liking it, and the style is really cool and interesting. I like art, so that's one of the things I love about anime.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, it's just kind of fun. It's fun.
So CPJ has a little fact. Did y'all know that the best little whorehouse in Texas is based on a true story?
Yes.
No, and I've never even heard of that. Where have I been? That's how LaGrange, the song, came out
Yes.
to, and Chicken Ranch Brothel in Texas.
It's the last
Now
brothel in Texas that was
I'm
closed in
intrigued.
1970, somewhere in the 70s, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
And Tron would like to show you some of his pets.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? He took time to pull up the keyboard
to
search,
find that.
yes, to find it, because the skunk isn't on like you get the smiley faces.
No,
you
you have
get the
to go
little
like
heart or the hand gestures. Then yes, exactly, Sandy. You have to scroll through it all,
page after page.
Yes. So he specifically went through.
And so thank you for your hard work and dedication.
You give him too much credit, Sandy. You give him too much credit.
I know I do, considering he said something very negative when he came in.
I saw that. I saw what he did. Anyway,
Mm.
yeah, so that's and I'm series. I'm binging The Good Doctor right now, right?
Alex really liked that show. He's always talking about The Good Doctor.
I do. So unbelievable, but I really enjoy it. I like medical dramas.
And now that you say unbelievable, Eric and I stumbled. We were laying in bed watching TV, and we stumbled on to this show. It's a Roku. Oh, we have a Roku TV.
Oh, okay.
And there's something called like alien cowboys or cowboy aliens.
Cowboys and Aliens, the movie.
No, it's not a movie. It's a series that stars 4 cowboys who take on the task of trying to identify if it's aliens or not. Joanne says, tell him you stink, lol. Anyway, so some of the things are so unreal, but yet we continue to watch it. And some of it's like, okay, this could be real.
UFO Cowboys.
Yes, UFO cowboys.
I'm interested, Sandy. I appreciate you saying this because now I need to go watch it.
So this is the funny part.
It's got a 64% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not too bad.
I mean, some of it's intriguing. Some of it is just like, what?
I want to see this.
It's really funny. And you're going to like question some of your life choices. Like, how did I end up watching this show?
Yeah.
But it's been entertaining. So we'll watch like one episode and just, we're like, all right, time to go to bed. But if it's really intriguing, if it really hooks us, we're like, okay, we'll watch 2.
Okay. So let's use this as the pivot. Okay. Last week, everyone. Okay. Let me back up. Last Monday, I got the chance to see our good friends, Trey and Jason, watch their show on Monday nights. The, what is it called?
I was going to say the social industry. What is it called? Free
Flows for You.
Flows for You.
So I was watching Flows for You, and Sandy, let me just tell you how heartbroken it made me too, because they had an astrophysicist on.
An astrophysicist.
And for those of you who've been watching the show forever, if you remember, there's one guest from season 1 that we never got.
What
an astrophysicist. Do you remember we used to have our guests tell us what kind of guest have on in the next episode?
Oh,
okay.
Oh, and someone said an astrophysicist?
Nick, the spiritual guy. He said, well, I want you to bring a physicist. He said physicist, actually, because he knew I liked sciences and stuff like that. He goes, find a physicist to come on. And I was like, okay. And I tried, guys. I tried so hard.
There's just not a lot of them out there.
I guess not. I called them too. Like I reached out to the universities.
Sheldon.
I left messages on. I did everything I could to find the physics departments.
I mean,
and I was like, please, we have a show here. It is nothing. Anyway, the guy shows up on Jason and Trey's show on Monday, and I'm like, and he's actually really excellent. And I'm like, please come on to our show. He said he can't because the time difference. Right now it's like 2 or 4:30 in the morning for him.
Where is he at?
He's in the UK.
Oh, and and we don't have one in the US. Sounds about right.
As far as I've been searching. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted him to come on, but we were talking about they got to talking about UFOs for a little bit, and I'm asking questions in the chat, and I'm getting completely ignored. But he's watching some of them. At least. I know, freaking Trey. I don't remember you, man. Okay.
Yeah, we're watching you, Trey.
So he talks about UFOs, and he's like, so they talked about Bob Lazar on there, right? And we love Bob, right?
We do love Bob. Bobby dropping bombs.
Bob, he was in there. So then they talked about this new guy, and I can't remember his name, but I was like, okay, let me look him up. So I type him up, and I was like, holy crap! And so I type in their chat, and I was like, he's actually going to be on. He's going up to Capitol Hill on Tuesday or Wednesday.
To do what?
So he is the guy. If you haven't seen, he's the guy that the government had questioned on. He's the whistleblower that basically said, we have aliens. He goes, we caught them. He's the one that recorded the Tic Tac UFO video and the video of the UFO that went into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
He caught both of those because he was in the jet that recorded it. It's his voice in those government tapes that you hear. And so he went on Capitol Hill they question him about the UFO stuff. And he talks about how there was crashes that the U.S. government has collected biological specimens, remains, I don't remember how he says it, from those crashes, and that we have those in our...
So I'm just going to tell you right now,
what?
Men in Black, based on true. I don't know if y'all know that, but I'm just
That's the
gonna.
best way to hide it. Is put
You
it in
heard it
plain
here.
sight.
Yes.
But anyway,
CPJ
yeah.
says Mr. Sword Guy had zero problem being on the show from the UK. Crumpets and tea to you, sir.
Oh, Carl Danby. Yes.
Carl, Vaults of Valhalla. Is that
But
what it's called?
yes, the lightsaber dude. Love that guy.
Mhm.
And man, if you
He's
haven't
doing
seen
so
it,
good.
oh my gosh, legit. His art is beautiful. Good
Mhm.
God. But yeah, if you didn't know about that guy, he eventually quit his job and builds lightsabers now full time. And he is always busy and sells
Yeah.
for lots of money. And it's cool to think that he came on our show when he was like, I'm just
Doing it for
trying this.
COVID part-time.
Yeah. And now
So
he's doing it
crazy.
full time and he's doing really, really good. But yeah, his art is amazing. Every time he puts a saber up, I'm like,
Oh, I know. I'm always like, oh my gosh. You can't, just when you think you can't get any better, he gets better.
yes. And he does the intricate designs with he has some serious pieces and silly pieces, and they're all gorgeous. Like the Pokemon one, he goes, that one was cool because he was like, if you get this saber, he goes, guess what? There's actually 50 or 100 Pokemon that I etched into this thing that you got to find. And I was like,
Oh,
what?
wow.
It was awesome. It was
That's
beautiful.
wild.
So,
That is
but anyway,
wild.
the UFO stuff. So our government last week announced that, or broadcast that, yes, we not only still believe in UFOs, but we have seen the little green men and actually have specimens
Do you
probably on Area 51.
remember years and years and years ago, we were little, they would have the National Enquirer and the headlines were like, we connected with
Bat
the
boy,
aliens, stuff like that. And you're just
alien
like,
couple has human
yeah.
baby.
I mean, every time there's something political going on, guess what? We have UFOs. It's like it's always something. We're gonna and Americans are just like, you know
Here's
what?
how they're like, Sandy. They're like,
I'm so glad that we have
UFOs?
UFOs. Yeah,
Okay.
but bring the housing costs down.
Yeah.
Thank you
Oh,
for
let's
that.
take water out of people's hands.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna Sandy, I saw this guy I'm trying to get on the show too, who has an experience with Bigfoot that is out of this world.
Dude.
And it's like that one. It's like, what's his name?
411.
Yes, it's
Paul
not
Paulides.
him, but
David
it's a
Paulides.
guy. He was like, I read his story and I was like, dude, you gotta come on our show and tell that. I was like, Sandy and I want to hear the deets.
We would
And it was
geek
an
out.
experience he had. He was like, and ever since he's had that experience, like it changed the trajectory of his life.
Was it like
and it was
experience? My experience was a year
yes,
ago.
except I don't want to ruin it.
Okay, don't ruin it. Okay, let me read this.
Okay.
Jamie, I saw a podcast 2 days ago on a guy who was in the military. He saw alien spacecraft. I thought of you.
That's the
Jamie.
guy.
It
probably
definitely was a very conversation.
Wait,
Roswell
it
was
was
once
a very
the
what?
center. I don't know. I need to clarify that. Was a
It
very
definitely was a
conversation.
very conversation.
Roswell was once the center of the UFO world. They have museums to prove it. I saw this thing where it was just like, imagine going all the way to Area 51 and it's like a Chevy JD Power and Associates commercial.
Sandy, didn't we go to Roswell?
Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah. Do
you remember the little museum?
I remember now.
Then they have that like
oh yeah, we went to the Denny's there. It was shaped like a UFO.
We went to the Denny's. We always were at Denny's.
Denny's. It was so reliable and so cheap though.
I know.
You got like a giant freaking plate of food for like $8.
Yeah.
And a side of toast or pancakes too.
I remember that's when I was like itty bitty tiny and I ordered like the Grand Slam. We had just danced our butts off. Yeah. And then that guy, the server was just like, I need you to stand up on your chair. And I'm like, why? He's like, just stand up right now. And I'm like, okay. And I stood up and he was like, I would like to announce to the restaurant that this young lady is going to eat all of this food. And I was like, oh my God.
Freaking jerk.
I know. I was like, what the world? He just like called me out in front of everybody.
Would you have preferred that experience, or did I ever tell you about the time that JD went there with JD and I went there and we're about to eat? So this really the really nice server.
I was with you and JD when that happened. I'm surprised you don't remember that.
Okay, so she had she fancied JD pretty well, pretty high and mighty. And so JD had ordered a milkshake. I think he ordered a milkshake. Yes. And she comes to the table to bring him the milkshake. And then she leans down like servers do. Mind you, if you're a server, I hate when you do that. Don't do that, please. Get your face away from my table. And she puts her head down on the table like that. And she goes, go ahead, try it. Guess what's in there? And he was like, what? And she was all up in his grill, Sandy. And she's like, I put a little surprise in there for you. Try it. And he looks at us, and I'm like, I'm trying hard not to let it out. And I'm just like, go ahead, JD. Try it.
You should, JD.
So he's looking at her, and she's like, and he goes ahead and drinks it. And he's like, and she's like, can you guess what it is? And he goes,
it's
nuts.
Clorox.
He goes, nuts. And she's like, yeah, I added pecans in there. And she thought it was the greatest gift to give him. And he is just like, oh, thanks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he just gave me these.
Anita said she meant to say it was a very interesting conversation. I'm honestly surprised you listened to that podcast, ma'am.
Girl, you should have sent it to me, Anita. I love getting messages for you. Anita, I need to apologize. There were a couple times you called or you messaged me and I don't answer back. I didn't answer back because I was afraid to let it out that we were coming back for season 6 of the social distancing show.
Oh, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is the milkshake did bring all the servers
sure
to the yard. Just that one server. Because the girls he wanted to bring to the yard, they wouldn't come to.
They were not going to have it. Freaking JD. You know, I don't go to Denny's anymore that often, but I do miss.
I've never been since we would frequent
back in our club days.
Yeah.
I hear you. Did Rodimus, are you in here? I feel like
he didn't say hello.
No, okay, never mind. Never mind. Yeah. So what's let me share a little bit of good news real quick. I have been doing.
Double check, make sure on the comments. No, I don't see him in here.
So remember, I told you I was transitioning. I'm working to get a new.
Congratulations on your transition.
Thank you. I'm working on it. Why am I typing our show in the YouTube?
Oh,
search?
He is. Hey, Rod. Good evening.
Oh, sweet. He is here. I just wanted to ask because it made me when we were talking about Denny's and going out to the club, I was just like, oh, I wonder if Rodimus is here. I think about you, Rodimus. So I was just wanted you to know that.
I clubbed with Rod a couple of times. We would go in his work van.
Man.
You remember that wristband? Why I remember that stuff, but I can't remember that I've got a show. I mean, that's just beyond.
That's beyond. Like that was so long ago, and you're like,
I remember that company name. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so if you didn't remember, I have a new YouTube. Okay. And let me share the screen.
Denny's, yes, I was there. CPJ says,
there.
Sandy, what were you going to tell us? You looked at your phone. Michael Jackson is eating popcorn. That was years ago. Rod, it was 100 years ago, at least.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Do y'all see it on the screen or no?
No.
I don't see anything, but
there it is.
There we go. Weird.
Maybe it just took a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, this is
Where
my
are you
new...
at?
What do you mean?
I mean, like friend-wise, is that what you're going to share us? Like how many people follow you?
Yeah. Like check this out. Like this thing has been steadily increasing every week, and It's not a ton. Don't get me wrong, right? But at 190 subscribers, and people are always showing up to these things, and they comment and stuff. I'm like, what in the world? This is kind of cool. And so let me just tell you, I originally started this because I was in the program and we were doing these videos on how to master the content that we were learning, right? Mm-hmm. They tell you to just take there's these, just imagine these little paragraphs, just learn the information and practice it on a computer, like a video, and make a video so that you can heighten your ownership of it, the mastery of it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's not a big deal. So I'm doing these, and then I've done quite a few of these videos, not a whole lot, but there's a lot in there. Okay. And then I was getting close to ending in the program, and I was like,
that one's playing. It's going to take up your bandwidth.
it's going to eat the bandwidth. Yeah. And then, so then I went ahead and I swapped over and started saying, well, just like Suds, I was like, I'm going to bring some people on. And so I've been inviting people to come on and talk about their professional experience within the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming on and talking with me, and they're giving their spill on stuff. And anyway, it's just kind of cool. I mean, I'm here and you can see the views on some of these videos, and I'm like, this is kind of neat, like, and I did one today. So I've done 4 on the last 4 Wednesdays, and those are busy days, but anyway, it just is cool. Like 190 subscribers, 40 videos, doing these live videos and inviting professionals on to talk about it, to build a community, to help provide some content to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's good for you.
Yeah.
That you're getting all your engagement and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Rod said you were fresh out of high school. I think you and I were both fresh out of high school.
Yeah. So I think you're a year younger than I. I think maybe you got out the year after I did, though.
I got out in 99.
Yeah. So I was out in 97 or 98.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought we
So
were the same
I
age for some
graduated.
reason.
Supposedly I graduated early. I don't know how that worked. I never skipped a grade, but I was 17 when I graduated.
I was 17 when I graduated.
Weird, because everyone else in my class was 18.
Because your birthday's August, right?
Yes.
And so the cutoff was what, September?
August.
The cutoff was September.
No, it was September, but like right now, my kids start school in mid-August. So yeah, it was September. It had to have been September.
The cutoff was September, I believe.
Okay,
because
so I was starting school.
Eric's brother and I were the same age, but he was after the cutoff.
Oh.
Because I didn't turn 18 until July.
Can you confirm that, Paul? Do you remember if it was? So, never mind. Don't answer that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
shut my mouth.
CPJ wants to know what I was going to say, so I need to tell CPJ what I was going to say.
Okay.
I found this question. Let me just tell you something.
Tell us.
Hold on. Before I get to that, let me tell you this.
Come on, UFO cowgirl.
I just see so many things posted on all these groups asking all these stupid ass questions.
You do see a lot of those.
And I'm just like, what is wrong with people? So the one that annoyed me today, it says, question for you all. My wife and I are expecting soon, and she's in school, working full time, and I work full time as well. As of right now, we're not on a joint account. We have separate accounts except for credit cards. I'd like to be on a joint account, but my husband doesn't. But he says it might cause more fights because our spending habits. I know it's for some people, but it's not working for us because I feel in the dark. How do I go about asking her to do a joint account, especially when the baby gets here, because I'll be out of work with little or no money coming in? Of course, he wouldn't leave me high and dry during that time, but I would like to have control over the money of the household during that time as well. Thoughts? So you say your thoughts, and then I'll get on my soapbox.
Okay. This one's a hard one. Okay. Both people deserve to have access to some money, whether it be all money or a little bit of money or something like that. I can't figure that part out for them. But both people deserve to have access to some money, especially because one's not going to be working. And if that means that they're going to be at home more often, I can see why an argument could be made why they have to have access to money if they're going to do any kind of grocery shopping or provide stuff for the baby or whatever, right? So that makes sense. I also understand spending habits being different between partners can cause some definite big challenges. And so I do think you have to, as with anything, you have to sit down and talk and be like, present both sides. But there should be a middle ground that says, okay, look, you're right. You do need to have access to some money, but not sure how much that should be and how to figure that out. That's what we can talk about. So kind of like a work backwards thing. That's my thought, at least my initial thought. Yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. Do you guys
You good?
give yourself some time to type out your answer so Sandy can
Yes.
hit her stuff? So while you're doing that, I'll just keep on talking for a little bit longer, Sandy. I'm just thinking like, and here's the other issue though too, right? And this is the one I always get. It's like a Reddit post, right? I read some of these Reddit posts and I'm thinking, why are you asking a bunch of strangers this crap? Like, geez, you're so immature, right? That's what I
Exactly.
think. That's what I think. And so if you're out here asking a question like that,
You already know the
maybe
answer.
there's some more validity to why you shouldn't have access to it than maybe. I don't know. I don't know. So I can keep going, or if you want to.
So my thing is why are you playing house with somebody and you haven't even addressed these issues first?
I mean,
The
that's a good point.
moment that you decided to move in with this fella, you should have said, these are my rules, these are my guidelines. Before we move in, how do you feel about joint accounts? But nay, let's not discuss it. Let's go ahead and procreate. And he continues spending like he's spending. And I've got to stay at home and not work. And now I'm scared to be dependent on him because he doesn't want to connect our finances.
And there's always something weird about that, Sandy. Like, I can understand not having connected finances, but if you're both contributing to the house, like I could understand that, right? I can get behind an argument or whatever you want to say if you're not connecting your bank accounts, but you're both contributing equitably to the home in some fashion.
Right.
Like if you're paying the phone bill, well, then you're buying the groceries. If you're paying a mortgage, that's just hard. You both need to figure out how to contribute to that kind of situation. But
right. I mean, you should have discussed all of this before procreating. Yeah. You should have said, hey, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom.
Like that, Sandy. Some people don't, they just.
And then you're on here asking stupid ass questions.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about this?
I'm like, can you just read what you wrote yourself and take your name off and imagine it's someone else who posted that?
Yeah.
But also, what are they supposed to do with that, Sandy? Like, how do they, they're already in the mess. Like, your point is valid, right? Like,
no, but that's the thing is, like, if he's not willing to do it, it's not going to change because some strangers on the internet told you. It's not going to change.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my point. My point is, if you didn't discuss it beforehand,
what are you
discussing it now is too late because you're going to say, look, on the internet, everybody feels like you and I should connect it. He's not going to change.
He's not. But here's the thing, too. Not saying anything definitely won't make a change. And I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Like,
well, but they discussed it.
I hear what you're saying.
So this is right here. What? We can't connect finances, but we can connect our no-no zones. We're totally connected at that time. You're not thinking about finances. But yes, that's exactly what happens. Is you and you see it so often. You see crap like this over and over and over.
Okay. Like, it's a good point. Can I pivot off of this?
Yeah,
still stay connected. But look, I have met several people who seem like they just want to keep having babies. Like, the limit just doesn't stop. Right?
And there's nothing wrong with that if you can afford them.
What if you can't, but you still wanted babies, right?
Well, do something to afford them. I mean, why do I got to pay for your babies that you want so bad? Yeah. You know how much I paid in taxes?
I know. Don't even, oh my God. Sorry. My heart's starting to get palpitations from that.
I know. It's like that's what's crazy to me is like there's so many entitled people in this world. Look, well, I want a new house. Who's paying for that just because I want it? Exactly.
I mean, I hear. I'm going to shut up. I'm not going to. Let's pivot back to your original point, okay? So yeah, stop asking questions online. I'm actually on Reddit right now trying to find some stuff that I saved.
just stop asking questions. I know I have some notes in here too from other things. Hold on.
Okay, and I'm trying to find how the heck do you get to your saved? Oh, there it is, right there, where it says saved. Oh, okay, guys. All right, you ready for this one? Here's a story I wanted y'all's opinion on, and I specifically say this.
Get ready.
This is juicy as heck.
Okay.
Okay.
Get ready.
All right. Let me shorten this down as best I can. Here's the main title. My wife of 22 years, 22 years,
22, just in case I didn't hear it.
cheated on me. Not Jaime. Cheated on me with my brother 17 years ago.
Pinche vieja cabrona.
Okay. So,
But let's see why she did it. I'm sure it was his
okay,
fault. Not
okay.
really.
No, so, all right. Oh, this story is going to crack you up too. Anyway, 17 years ago,
They were only married how many years? 5 years. Oh, they'd already been married for 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So 17 years ago, okay, so we'll say husband and wife and brother. Okay, so 17 years ago, the husband's brother was going through a hard time in his marriage.
Okay.
Okay, so the brother and his wife over there, they get divorced, and brother moves in with brother husband. Oh, that sounds terrible. The divorced brother with his brother who's still married, right? Okay. In that time, he was dealing with depression, just all that stuff that comes with divorce stuff, right?
Right.
So they let him get away with just a lot in terms of being messy and just sleeping in all the time, yada yada, all that kind of junk.
Mm-hmm.
But they were just letting him stay there until he got better and could get back on his feet and stuff. Oh God! Oh God! Oh my God! Anyway, so he starts to get better. He is doing well with the family, right? They're okay with him being who he is and stuff. The wife and her brother-in-law are getting to be good friends, better friends. And the husband is kind of like, yeah, whatever. They're just friends. And so he starts noticing some things. He finally tells his wife 17 years ago, he's like, look, you're it's just a little too friendly. Okay. And so anyway,
Are y'all connecting no-nos over there?
oh my gosh, that is the comment of the week, right? So then brother finally moves out and goes and does his own thing. But the husband is just getting that vibe. So he catches his wife with like texts, right? Inappropriate texts and stuff like that, and tells her to chill out and stop it. He brings them both together actually and tells them they need to chill out, stop it. They agree and everything else.
Wow, that was a very calm reaction.
It's a very long story, so I'm trying to just kind of. And so anyway, something happened. He started figuring some stuff out and thinking something's not matching up because there was some story that was going on. He got upset with his wife about something. He was like, wait, what'd you say? So then he cornered his brother separately and kind of explored some stuff there and found that their stories were the same. So then he was like, he still just was whatever. Brought them together and was like, y'all said da. And when they were almost done, the brother screws up. He screws up his story when he's almost like, well, okay, I'm glad we got this over with. Bye. He leaves. And then the husband is like, wait a minute. You said that this didn't happen here and there. You said that didn't happen until after this. So he basically busted them in a lie. And confronted them again and was like, yeah. So after hours of drilling both of them individually afterwards, they revealed that, yes, they had slept together. And so he is livid and he is broken and hurt and all that jazz. And he is like,
rightfully so.
I agree. But he is like, I just feel like so now he's feeling a lot of things. Oh, he had depression the first time around too. He finally battled it and got it taken care of. And now he's like, now it's all coming back. And he's like, you did this to me and you tore this off like 17 years later. And actually, I didn't know this, but there's an update that got posted today. 2 days ago. They got posted 2 days ago that I didn't read. Everything went sideways this morning. I caught her in another lie, and finally she admitted that they had sex multiple times in Fleabag Highway motels while I was away for work, just like so many of you said. So slight change in plans. I have a lawyer. My daughters both know. Her family knows. She is moving to the basement until alternative arrangements can be made. I will be keeping the house. Thank you all for your kind words and support. I didn't know this one. It's juicy.
Dude.
What? Okay, what?
Of all the fish in the sea,
of all of them, right?
You had to land in the same household with the brother.
Your brother, who was supporting you, who was looking out for you after your divorce, invited you in his home.
Not in his wife, in his home.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
That's awful. It's awful.
It's terrible, right? It's absolutely terrible. Like, if you can't trust family, who can you trust, right? Like it doesn't, I can't even fathom I hear these stories, I read this stuff, and I'm just like,
is this real?
How?
Is this real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
you just question life.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like you said, Sandy, like, I could literally, like, 8 billion people in this planet, and the one that's already taken
by a family member. CPJ said, at least they could be on the same 23andMe family tree when she has that 45th kid. Was bro number 2 an X Division 1 head basketball coach by chance?
Oh, no.
Was he? Good question.
Oh, that's a good question. That was a good story, wasn't it?
That was a good story. I mean, gosh.
I hate that to be them. Joy out of people's stories. It's not like I wish this bad stuff on people.
It already happens. We're just reading it.
You put it out there, man. You put it out there. I didn't put it out there.
You put it out there for my reading pleasure.
For my reading pleasure. And I tell people it's a guilty pleasure of mine.
It is.
What is y'all's guilty? So put your guilty pleasures in the comments if you don't mind, and be honest with us. I'm not going to judge you. Okay.
I am.
I have my guilty pleasure. One of my biggest guilty pleasures in life is reading, specifically reading too. I don't know why. Reading the juicy drama that people get into. And it can't be
253 comments.
Yeah, it cannot be just any drama, right? Like I read people's drama
and I'm like, really?
I'm not judging you, CPJ.
I am.
I'm not judging you.
I've never once watched an episode.
Neither have I.
I pride myself on that.
Neither have I.
But there's also things that I've not watched. Yellowstone.
I need to watch that.
American Horror.
I couldn't start watching that. I lost it when the ghost.
The Blue Meth Lab People Maker. What is that one?
Huh?
They made blue meth. What was it called?
I don't know.
It was
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Yeah.
My wife saw that. She liked it, I think.
I didn't watch Brokeback Mountain.
I stopped like right before the credits came on.
Still haven't watched that. What else?
You don't need to watch that.
Really?
But wait, we're talking about guilty pleasures, Sandy.
Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry.
You went in the opposite direction.
Guilty I usually do.
Look, Kardashians, okay. It's weird, but you like it, CPJ. I appreciate you sharing.
Hi, Sylvia Jennings. She says Ozark.
Oh, I haven't watched that, but I hear
what even is? Is it based on true?
No, it's more of a drama though. It's a crime drama. So the guy worked for the mafia or something like that, the mob, and he's trying to get out of it, and so he leaves to go take his family to the Ozarks. It's a place, and craziness ensues. It didn't interest me, but I've been seeing some clips on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to watch it. I don't know.
CPJ says she loves the Ozarks. So my guilty pleasure.
Yes, Sandy, guilty pleasure.
Is watching this judge show, and she does strictly paternity test. And I love how she tears it into those moms and dads, those worthless parents. Like,
is she the one where there's a popular one where she reads the result, and then the woman, the wife, no, the mother, she starts cheering and jumping in circles and everything, and she was like, You shut your mouth and stop doing that. That means that no one respects you and no one loves your baby now. And
Yeah.
you're excited here jumping like a
I
fool.
can't think of what her is it Vonda? I can't think of her name, but anyway, I love to watch her. Let me tell you about the one I watched today, okay?
Tell me.
This lady goes in there saying, my 3-year-old is by this deceased man. So she brought into court the deceased ex-wife and the deceased daughter.
Wait,
The
hold
deceased.
on. Hold on. Did you say the
The
deceased? She
the
brought them
the
into court?
ex-wife of the deceased man.
Oh,
Because he's
I was like,
deceased. So
okay.
he brought the ex-wife of the deceased man and the daughter of this deceased man because she said he has a duty to um support her. And they're like, but he's dead. Well, because she somehow realized that his daughter was getting social security benefits. So she wanted her daughter to receive the social security benefits. Anyway, so the judge comes out and says, he's not the father. And do you think that she was mad? Nope. She turns around and she tells that lady, she was just like, oh, well, I got some revenge on you anyway. And the judge is like, what? She said, instead of you being upset, then worried that you don't know who your daughter's father is, you sit there and you get upset because you got revenge on him. She's like, do you know who the dad is? She's like, yeah, I know who he is.
Please tell me she got like contempt or something like that.
I wish, because the second one that I want to tell you about, this lady put this man behind bars for 5 years. This man was behind bars because he didn't pay child support. And then they went to do a paternity test and it wasn't even his kid. And you know what the bitch said? She's like, I know who the dad is. We still talk. That man was like, she needs to be in prison. And I'm right there too. I'm like, hang her ass. Hang her. Bring back what is it?
Hangman's
The penalty where they shoot you. What is that called?
Oh, execution. Firing squad.
Bring back the firing squad because she deserved that. You mean to tell me that man spent that long for a child that wasn't even his?
Oh my God. That would,
And that's why I love
I
to
don't
watch.
even know. I don't even know, Sandy. Like oh my gosh.
Yes. And so now do you see why I'm hooked?
Yeah.
And then this other one, the lady was like, I want to party. Like, and so she basically abandoned her kids to the dad, and one of them was autistic. And she did not spend any time. She's like, I bring them food. He said, you bring them food and then you leave. You don't spend any time with them. She's like, they have a tablet. She's like, a tablet is a better babysitter than I am. Anyway. And then, so the judge is like, okay, you're ordered to pay like $1,000 plus medical. She's like, well, what am I going to have left to party with? She's like, well, then get you another job if you don't think you have enough money left over. And then this other lady, she left her kids with her sister, said, I'll be back, and never came back. 6 months later, she still had the kids. And she
oh
was
my
like,
gosh, no
yeah,
way.
yeah. And she was like, oh, I just don't want kids in my life right now. I'm in a different stage of life. And she's like, but your sister didn't have kids and you're making her have those kids. She's like, yeah, she's my sister. She needs to help me.
You got to send me some of these, Sandy. I'm like,
I
am
will.
flabbergasted.
I will, because I'm addicted to this stuff. That's my guilty pleasure. That's what I just be doing. And then it has like 4 and 5 parts, and then I'll watch all the parts.
Oh, I hate those though. Why not just watch the show?
I don't know what it's on. I can't find it.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to watch it on TikTok.
I'm gonna have to help you figure that part out.
Yes, please. I'll give you her name. I'll send you one in just a minute.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Anyway, sorry I went off on my guilty pleasures.
I'm fine. It was fun. If anyone else has any guilty pleasures, put them in the comments so we can see, even after the show, because I'm just interested in people's guilty pleasures. Don't make me feel like I'm alone. And even my wife will sometimes jab at me because she's like, why do you like reading this stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I'm gravitated, like, like it's like in my Reddit feed, it's let me just tell you, it's called Surviving Infidelity. And it's sad stories of people who've been cheated on and are trying to get on with their life. So there is this mental health aspect to it, right? Like someone who's been damaged by someone else. And it's like, I
Mhm.
feel terrible for them. But at the same time, some of these stories are out of control.
I'm not really worried about anybody's mental health. I just like to read.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I mean, like, good on you. Thanks for sharing this because this was great.
well, there is this just aspect to it where I'm just like, I can't believe people hurt other humans like this. So brutal, I
Oh,
think.
I can.
It's insane. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I guess you're right.
God.
I guess
So
you're right.
CPJ says, again, the maturity of connecting no zones and allowing others to pay for your trash lifestyles. I love the Kardashians because I'm completely convinced I could be besties with Khloe, like go see Barbie kind of besties. And would you pay for Chloe's ticket or would she have to pay for yours?
Oh, she should totally pay, right?
Right?
Oh my gosh. See, now I'm all hooked now. Now I'm scrolling through and surviving it. Let me turn that off because
Just turn it off because we gotta go.
We do gotta go.
We
All right,
gotta go,
everyone. So
bro.
check it out. We will be back next Wednesday.
If Sandy doesn't plan anything
If
between
Sandy
now.
doesn't go to Barbie again.
On Wednesdays. I have nothing to do on Wednesday.
But either way, you guys have a great week. Let's see. So this will be an interesting month, right? Because school starts back up for all of us. And when do you know when school starts back for y'all, Sandy?
August the 16th.
We are
CPJ says, I would pay so she knows I'm here for her, not her money.
at first, right? You know what she's gonna do? She's gonna be like, what was it? Well, there was someone, I think it was a Kardashian, maybe not.
No, it was the Anna where her friend paid for her like to go do all the trips and stuff, remember? And then she ended up having to use her credit card.
Is that who it was?
I don't know. I remember that part. What is Swamp People? What is that? Is it based on
show?
true?
Yeah. It's a reality show of people who live in the bayou. I've never watched it. Rodimus, why are you watching that?
That's his guilty pleasure. Do not judge him.
As I'm processing it, I'm thinking, what the? You're right. You're right, though. Never mind. I do not need to judge.
How dare he say he wasn't going to judge you?
I wasn't judging. I was just.
You said, Rodimus, why are you watching that?
It's just a weird show. But
I've never even heard of it.
If it's the show I'm thinking of, it's a reality show about people who live in the bayou and
guys and alligators.
Okay. You like guys and you like alligators. No judgment here. I'm okay with that. But anyway, so yours is on the 16th. Mine is on the 17th. My birthday's on the 17th.
Nice. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to go back? You have some hesitation.
No, I am beyond ready. My kid needs to go back. We'll talk about that another day, okay?
Guys that catch alligators with their hands.
With their hands. I saw this guy do it, catch some snapping turtles, and those snapping turtles are no joke.
There's this stupid lady that was like, "Oh, the turtle is thirsty," and she starts pouring water at it, and then it like launches at her.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, those things are. I remember the guy who's holding one is like laughing at whatever, and then the thing just jumps backwards and freaking grabs his. And it's all slow motion, and it looked like it hurt, but then in slow motion you can see his lip just gets enormous. Anyway, I can see you giving that stink eye to whoever.
I know. I'm just like,
we can all hear you. Just FYI.
James said we can all hear you.
All right, everyone. Well, I don't remember the closeout. I'm looking for the video, so give me a second.
Oh, you're fine. I remember it. Okay. And remember, everybody, live, laugh, and toaster bath.
Be kind to others. You don't know what they're going through. You
filthy animals. Gabe Leal, have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Love y'all.
Love you, bro.